Home has a unique kind of quiet, a sanctuary filled with the gentle hum of daily life, the refrigerator's buzz, the clock's soft tick. It is a space where you finally can just be, unburdened by calls to action. Unlike the glaring void of loneliness, this tranquility wraps around you like a warm blanket, creating an atmosphere of safety that many misinterpret as withdrawal. Oh, if only they could comprehend that this love for home isn't shying away. It's a renaissance of self. For many of us, those chaotic childhood environments, buzzing classrooms and jostling buses, felt like combat zones. Speaking louder to be heard and grinning wider to feel accepted became a sort of survival strategy. Yet, amid the frenzy, we often built our own, gentler worlds inside, where comfort reigned and expectations paused. Thus, home became more than four walls. It turned into a cherished haven, offering solace from the external chaos lurking just outside the door. Surprise! Psychologists affirm that homebodies often possess heightened sensitivity to the world's stimuli. It's like having a finely tuned antenna, detecting every blaring horn, flickering light, and endless chatter. This sensitivity can easily lead to overwhelm, making the soothing serenity of home not a place of retreat but a perfect rendezvous for a weary soul. It's as if the nervous system sings a lullaby, soothing one back to equilibrium away from the bustling crowd. But the truth runs deeper still. Home invites us to shed our carefully constructed social masks, the grin we wear at parties, the perfectly timed laughs, and reveals the real deal beneath. Once that door closes, the filtered version of ourselves is left outside, and we embrace our unvarnished selves, free of judgment. Funny how, after a full day in public where we can often feel invisible, the moment we plop onto the couch with a warm mug of tea, we finally recognize our own existence and thoughts. In a world that celebrates extroversion, we're often taught that thriving means being constantly on the go. Silence, suspicious, stillness, lazy. Yet, let's give a hearty cheer for the quiet warriors, those who find joy amid solitary moments. They understand that profound fulfillment often lies in life's pauses, in the gentle spaces of reflection and not just the flash of ongoing performance. It's a refreshing reminder, sometimes, to go within is the key to truly having. Imagine constantly juggling your identities for different people. Exhausting, right? But when you slink back home, the only audience that matters is you. You shed those performances and embrace your true self. Even in solitude, connection calls. People who cherish staying in often enjoy richer, deeper relationships, thriving in silences that speak louder than words, where just being present is more than enough. What's left is a world where authentic bonds flourish beyond the noise. When psychologists delve into the concept of solitude, they stumble upon a delightful surprise. Those who intentionally spend time by themselves often rack up higher scores in creativity and emotional intelligence. It's not that they're blessed with higher IQs, rather, they're masters of introspection. Instead of letting emotions sweep them away like a tidal wave, they take a moment to analyze them, sorting thoughts like filing cabinets. In that sweet sanctuary of solitude, brilliant ideas sparkle, clarity shines bright, and old emotional wounds start to mend. Picture those eureka moments in your life when inspiration struck like lightning. They likely didn't hit you at the wildest shindig or a cluttered coffee shop buzzing with life. Nope. They crept up on you during late-night showers or tranquil walks, with only the sound of your thoughts for company. That's the secret charm of staying home. It's an invitation for your brain to kick back, sip some quietness, and engage in a chat without distractions. Now, let's add a pinch of irony into the mix. Many cozy-hearted homebodies bear an odd, sneaky guilt about their preference for peace. They feel like they're skipping out on life, as if the world is throwing a party without them. Thanks to social media's relentless parade of vibrant parties and happy faces, the guilt tends to balloon. But here's a juicy tidbit: the highlight reels of others don't tell the whole tale. Everyone's on a quest for tranquility, and for countless folks, that means hunkering down at home. Let's rewind a bit. Historically, hermits and monks would escape to mountains or caves for some serious soul-searching. Today's retreats happen in modest bedrooms filled with houseplants and soft tunes. It's all about that yearning to find stillness amidst life's chaos. Modern homes have become temples of reflection, providing the ideal backdrop for healing and contemplation. Science backs this up, too. At home, you enter what experts dub a low-threat environment, where stress levels plummet and your thoughts start to sparkle. When alone at home, your emotions can finally break free from their cages. It's not just a lack of external noise, it's the unveiling of your vulnerable self. Suddenly, you feel all those bottled-up emotions rising, and that's where the real healing works its magic. While the outside world might scream at you to get out and live your youth, those who value their solitude know the truth. Profound growth often goes down behind closed doors. They're not hiding, they're recovering, mentally recharging for the hustle of the world. There's a kind of cozy comfort in a well-worn routine too. Your brain craves that structure because it gives anxiety the boot. Familiar spots and cozy rituals transform into emotional sanctuaries. Every little act, from lighting that soothing candle to brewing your daily coffee, sends a message of safety to your frazzled nerves. In a productivity-obsessed society, this kind of serenity feels downright audacious. What's even more fascinating is how homebodies gently push back against the societal push for perpetual activity. They showcase an important truth: meaning isn't solely buried in movement and hypervisibility. Sometimes it's nestled in stillness, noticing the rain dancing against the windows, or carving out precious time to ponder who you're evolving into. Perhaps this explains why those who cherish their time at home often possess a vibrant, rich inner landscape where imagination thrives. In the cozy corners of solitude, where imagination takes root, the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary. Sunlight splashes against a wall, dust pirouettes through the air, and you can almost hear the giggles of far-off friends through thin walls. This quiet beauty wraps around you like a warm blanket, offering a slow-burning joy that doesn't need to be documented or displayed. For some, this kind of happiness might seem alien, as they equate silence with emptiness and loneliness. But for those who cherish home, silence is not a void, it's a sweet symphony. It's amusing to consider the paradox of homebodies. Often misunderstood as detached or aloof, these folks are actually deeply in tune with life's nuances. Every whispered conversation, every raindrop on the windowpane, they absorb it all, leaving gentle imprints. When the clamor of the world threatens to drown them, their first instinct is not to flee, but to curate their own sanctuary. This isn't fear of social interactions. It's a fierce self-care routine of sorts, tuned to protect their delicate inner peace. Take a peek at someone's home and you'll see their soul laid bare. Some dwellings burst with vibrant sunlight and melodic tunes, with houseplants reaching for the rays like eager dance partners. Others keep it classic with soft lighting, cozy blankets, and the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee. These spaces are not just rooms, they're emotional landscapes, intimate reflections of their occupants' minds. The serene create warmth, the dreamers cultivate comfort, and the analytical establish order, crafting unseen worlds full of wonder behind closed doors. Psychologists have observed that solitude often breeds creativity. Those who relish their alone time frequently report surging levels of originality and empathy. It's a unique opportunity to hear one's inner voice undisturbed by the chatter of the outside world. In public, thoughts can become diluted, all dressed up for social acceptance. Alone, they can roam free, vibrant, and unfiltered, a playground for creativity to thrive. It's no coincidence that so many artists and thinkers find solace in solitude, needing that sacred space to nurture their ideas. Virginia Woolf's insight rings true: every writer, every artist, needs a room of their own, literally or metaphorically, to unearth their essence. Those who enjoy the comfort of home understand that external validation is unnecessary. The outside noise fades into the background as they cultivate a profound sense of self-worth. Spending time alone allows them to build an unwavering inner peace, one that remains steadfast against life's tempests. Yet, let's face it, solitude can occasionally feel like a double-edged sword. When you silence the distractions, the mind starts to crank up the volume, forcing you to confront thoughts you'd rather avoid. Not everyone can tolerate the echo of their inner dialogue for long. For some, it's unsettling. However, those who lean into that silence discover a profound truth. Peace is not about banishing thoughts, but learning to dance alongside them. This is emotional maturity at its finest. Moreover, a person's comfort with solitude is an excellent barometer for their self-awareness. Embracing alone time teaches many invaluable lessons about emotions and identity. When you learn to sit with your feelings, witnessing them ebb and flow like the tide, you cultivate a resilience that can withstand even the toughest storms. Solitude transforms from a daunting specter into a trusted companion, a cherished friend that reveals who we are at our core. In the end, it is within this space that true happiness is found. Embracing one's own company often leads to a more robust sense of self. Those who can enjoy solitude are less tossed around by peer pressure, less reliant on external validation, and more aligned with their internal compass. After spending enough time nestled in your thoughts, it becomes easy to distinguish your own voice from the clamor of others. In fact, that's where wisdom slips in, blossoming in the quiet spaces where a person can breathe without noise. Now, don't get it twisted. Just because these homebodies have figured out how to fend for themselves doesn't mean they're immune to loneliness. Oh, they feel it, all right. But this kind of loneliness is layered. It's not just a hollow ache. Instead, it's that deeper yearning for genuine connection, not the frantic scramble for attention. They'd much prefer the sweet solitude of their homes to the company of folks who leave them feeling invisible. It's not about being aloof, it's about having standards, folks. When these knowing souls do finally stumble upon the right companions, boy, do they love hard. They pour their energy into relationships with intention, showing affection like it's a rare gift and trusting like it's a delicate treasure. This thoughtful approach results in relationships that last. They are rooted in substance rather than noise and fleeting interactions. It's a profound contrast that jolts you. It's like listening to a symphony rather than just a lot of clattering pots. However, there's another twist to this tale. Not all who adore their homes are there because they thrive in peace. Some are simply weary. They're worn out from feeling misunderstood, bombarded by the world's demands for someone they're not. For these individuals, home becomes a refuge, a space for recovery rather than a tool for escapism. Psychologists call it emotional decompression, the body's way of letting out that held breath after a day spent juggling facades. The moment they cross that threshold, all the daily pressures come crashing down like a ton of bricks. The idea that stretching out on the couch for an afternoon nap is somehow lazy? Think again. That's genuine healing. Moreover, those who favor the indoors often possess an uncanny ability to empathize. They soak up others' vibes like sponges, keenly aware of shifting moods, effortlessly reading the room while feeling drained at the same time. So, retreating becomes their much-needed recharge. Digging deeper, you'll find that preferring to stay in isn't merely a choice. It's part of an individual's rhythm. Some folks crave the thrill and chaos of the outside world, while others thrive in tranquil introspection. Neither is superior, they're just different strokes in the grand art of humanity. But in a society that worships constant hustle, those who prefer calm can sometimes feel like a square peg in a round hole. There truly is poetry in this balance. The world needs both the rapid-fire adventurers and the gentle contemplators. Each pair plays a vital role, those who create the roar of life's symphony and the listeners who extract meaning from it. Often, it's these reflective souls who turn chaos into comprehension, translating noise into resonant stories. And so many creatives find their heartbeats at home, not in an escape, but in a quest for deeper insight. Writers, philosophers, and artists morph solitude into masterpieces. Their homes echo with essence. They are extensions of their minds where thoughts take flight. Every nook brims with intention. Even those who don't wield a paintbrush or pen can resonate with this psychology, understanding that each layer of their quiet life holds meaning. Life, after all, is more about depth and the stories we cultivate within our personal sanctuaries. Home is the sacred sanctuary where we process life's glorious chaos. It's not just about cozy couches or warm lights. It's where we grapple with the emotions we couldn't let loose outside. After juggling 1,000 different roles, we return to our authentic selves. This homecoming cultivates a vital psychological need in us all. No matter where we roam, everyone craves a comfort zone where they can shed their everyday grind and truly unwind. For some, that comforting haven is wrapped up in the arms of loved ones. For others, it's the gentle embrace of solitude. For walls, a flickering lamp, and maybe a good book. Choosing stillness over all the flashy noise of the world takes real courage. It's like saying no thanks to the circus of life and choosing instead to revel in the grace of invisibility. In that quiet space, authenticity flourishes as you start to live not for the applause, but for your own genuine expression. When you switch out competition for conversation, the once confining walls of your home transform into wings. This isn't escaping life. Oh no, it's a delightful embrace of it. Homebodies aren't hiding. They're savoring each heartbeat, honoring daily rhythms that keep them grounded. They're out there, crafting a world that feels kind again, one where their hearts can stretch without the demands of the busy outside world. When homebodies do venture out, they bring a special calm energy with them. They aren't adding to the clamor, they're carrying a sense of peace like a cherished treasure. Once you taste the tranquility of solitude, the loud distractions of life lose their appeal. You stop seeking comfort from others and learn to nurture a deep sense of home within. So if curling up with a cozy throw and your favorite show is your jam, own it. Embrace it fully without apologies. In a society that often prioritizes visibility, there's an unfortunate guilt that creeps in when you're at home. Being seen seems to be the gold standard for existence. But maybe that quiet retreat isn't about fading into the background. Perhaps it's about rediscovering your own vibrant essence away from the spectacle. Joy doesn't always need an audience, especially when special moments happen in silence. The scent of cookies baking, the raindrops dancing on the roof, or the golden afternoon light streaming through your window. As time ticks on, you start to appreciate the often overlooked details. That comforting stillness calms the heartbeat like nothing else. Life at your own pace becomes a gift. It's a beautiful reunion with your thoughts, a delightful break from the relentless din of the outside world. This isn't isolation. It's a heartfelt reconnect that allows you to breathe deeply without the chaos encroaching on your peace. So, to all the lovers of quiet life, let it be known, you're not just disappearing into the shadows. By stepping back from the rush of the world, you're crafting a life of fulfillment and tranquility. Fading from the eyes of the crowd allows you to sharpen your focus on yourself and all that brings you joy. Home isn't just a place, it's a way of seeing life, a reflection of the peace you earn through patience and authenticity. And when you finally embrace that, you'll find out you've never really been alone. As you nestle into your cozy nook at home, an epiphany strikes. Solitude isn't about feeling alone, it's your personal reboot for authentic connections. It dawns on you that maintaining every friendship doesn't necessitate chronic updates. You can skip the daily Snapchat saga. And guess what? Your friends won't suddenly disappear. It's liberating to realize that not every project needs a full cheering squad to feel worthwhile. In this newfound appreciation for the quiet life, you begin to see the beauty in those fleeting moments unnoticed. You notice how progress often wears invisible shoes, and sometimes the most profound shifts happen behind the scenes. Life's small victories, like finishing a book or baking cookies that didn't burn, don't always come with applause, but they can be celebrated in your own heart, transforming the mundanity into magic. Maybe that's the hidden truth you've been overlooking. Those homebodies aren't hiding from existence. Oh no, they're marching towards it. Each slow step is a deliberate choice, cutting through the chaotic noise of life. It's a courageous act to reject the hustle culture and embrace the peaceful rhythm of your own company. Enjoying your own presence is like giving a high five to the true essence of being alive. You start to cherish the art of feeling without a scoreboard. You don't need to impress anyone with dazzling accomplishments or overflowing social calendars. Just being in the moment is a beautiful achievement. The world outside might rush by in a whirl of productivity, but here, in your ease, you discover a different kind of forward motion, one where you enjoy the pace rather than race against time. And then there's that blissful realization that sometimes, the most courageous act isn't launching into a whirlwind of activity. It's the audacity to do absolutely nothing. It's about cozying up with your thoughts and letting them unfurl at their own pace. You find joy in sipping tea and watching raindrops dance on your window while the world outside rushes to complete tasks that seem so, well, pointless. Being your own company turns out to be a treasure trove of revelations. Quietly sitting in solitude becomes a sanctuary, a space where you can finally breathe and think without interruptions. Each minute spent with yourself adds up to a comforting truth. You're enough, just as you are. Suddenly, the realization sweeps over you like a warm blanket, bestowing upon you a sense of contentment that's been spectacularly elusive amidst the clamor of everyday expectations. So, here's to the joy of hidden moments, those that go unnoticed yet hold infinite value. Cherishing the invisible life is not simply a trend, it's an indulgence in self-discovery. In the sanctuary of your home, you find peace, purpose, and perhaps most importantly, the clarity that comes from knowing you are your greatest companion. The universe does have a funny way of showing you that sometimes, doing less truly is more.